So like basically when I was 16, I decided to go full blown out like I'm gonna be a lesbian, and I cut my hair and everything. I remember getting asked this question. They were like, I mean, I feel you like you liked girls. Why did you cut all your hair off and turn into a boy? Why did you do that? At the time when I was asked this question, I was just like, because that's what the fuck I wanted to do. Like I wanted to cut my hair, I wanted to make a statement. I didn't realize that there was so many other underlying reasons why I did this. And now even, you know, I'm 27, 11 years later, I finally came to this realization about what that whole like tomboy overhyped masculine experience is about. Given I grew up in a house with all boys. I grew up in a house with three brothers, and whenever I went to my grandma's house, I had all cousins that were brothers. So like I always already adapted like this whole tomboy lifestyle or whatever. And when I turned 13, I never really thought that I was like pretty, like I had a crush on this guy. And you know, in middle school I was like, how come you don't like me? And he's just like, because you dress funny. I never thought that I had a problem with like, you know, I dressed more like a boy. I was wearing Jordans and Jabos, had my hair braided straight to the back. I looked like Lil Bow Wow. But I didn't think, because in my world, and I think in most kids' worlds, there isn't this whole masculine, feminine presence. That wasn't a thing. We're now putting that more on kids as they're getting older. I never really saw the difference. I was just kind of like, if you like somebody, like I like you for you, like me for me. So I went to my friend. I told her what he said, and I was like, how do I get him to start liking me, you know? She's like, girl, don't worry, I got you. So I started finding tighter clothes, things that would make me compliment my womanhood more, because I don't think womanhood is about physical appearance anyway, but at the time, that's what I did. And that's when I was starting to get noticed by even more guys. I was shocked. Like, I did not think I was pretty. So it was very odd to get all these male responses and things like that. And so what came with getting more attention was aggressive attention. And I think that's something that all of us women go through. And that's when everything gets like complicated and jumbled up. Fast forward, and we're at this like throwing this hotel party, and given we were throwing a lingerie hotel party, me and my friends.
And how old?
Right. It was I think my best friend's at the time, her 16th birthday, and I'm telling you, if your mom sees this, yeah, we was bad as fuck. So we were definitely putting out, and that's a whole nother conversation where it's like, even if a woman is sexualizing herself, it's still it's her body. There's no invitation. If there's no verbal invitation, there's no invitation. That was the first time where I had been intruded upon by a person, a boy that was like a little bit older than me. It definitely changed my perspective on the male attention. And then after that took place, you know, my dad put his hands on me. We got into an argument, and he grabbed me and threw me down or whatever. And I just was like, from those two moments, I defined men as predators. I didn't think like, no, I was like, oh, how can I keep a dude from like not even wanting to look at me like at all? So when I went back to the question, 11 years later, I'm thinking about it, and they're like, well, why did you cut your hair? Why did you start wearing baggy clothes? You were beautiful. Why did you have to like try to dim down yourself? And it didn't hit me until this year. And I was like, wow, you were afraid to be beautiful.
It was a defense mechanism.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God, you are afraid to be beautiful because you feel like that attracts the wrong energy. Going back to this transition to being more womanly than I was before, all of a sudden, all that attention. I used to be able to walk down the street, all fair game. What up, bro? What up? Like, you know, and nothing. Now it's, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. That wasn't the attention I wanted, but now there's not this like intimidation about it. We're right now, the feminine energy and like feminine power is rising. I do believe that the woman energy is a leadership. Like, we have natural leadership, and I think that we're starting to hone that more and recognizing that in ourselves. And I was just like, wow, like, you can be strong and beautiful. You can be smart and beautiful, and you can be like powerful and beautiful. You can be rich and beautiful. Like, you can be all these things that I feel like beauty is always just separated into its own category. Coming back into this, because everyone's like, well, you said you switched up your image before, and I did. But there's all this other stuff that came with it. Like, when I switched up my image before, then I also was just like, okay, I'm going to try to be straight now with this new girly image. But it's not about sexuality. It's like not about that at all, because at the end of the day, yeah, I look more girly, but I still fucking like women. Like, I still think that they're attractive, but I've always thought that both sexes were equally attractive, but I'm just not afraid anymore to be womanly, but also still be that tomboy roughneck. You know, I can put makeup on and still be like, all right, let's arm wrestle, you know? First of all, one thing that I loved about dating women was I was always the chaser. One, because I just played the male role, I played the masculine role, so I was like, well, it's fun because it's always a challenge. Like, I have to get her to like me. Mm-hmm. I was always bored dating guys because I was just like, all right, you sweating my phone, like, calling me all the
got you in the bag,
right,
challenge over.
Exactly. So there wasn't any fucking like cat and mouse thing, and it's just like, why is that privilege only reserved for the man? How come I can't go and like, he's a really nice looking guy, and I want to get at him, and like maybe he's not interested in me as hard, but hey, yo, what's up? Like, I'm gonna text you, you know what I'm saying, right before bed, and those are the things I don't want to lose. Like, that's the masculine energy about myself and about, I think, a lot of other women that have seen like a nice looking guy out and was just like, well, if he doesn't come up to me, I'm not gonna say anything. Why? What is all this role shit? Like, I need to play off of my energy, and so this time it's like, I merged back into this, like you said, this womanly, like tender, soft, or whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm manipulating both energies to my who I fucking am.
Balance.
Exactly. And I don't think
the yin and the yang. It's what above, below, like man, woman.
And nobody has fucking balance. Nobody really has balance. Like, everybody is just kind of like, well, I'm a woman, so this is the way I should be. I should fit in this box. And then there's men that are like, this is how I should be. I should fit in this box.